Every year, Which tests thousands of the products that you rely on every day. And we've been doing it for over 60 years.
Which reviews are 100% impartial. We don't accept freebies from manufacturers, and we have no owners, shareholders, or government departments to answer to. So our work is on behalf of you, the consumer.
In a world of misleading claims and fake reviews, we test everything, from everyday items to big purchases, so that you don't have to.
We then put them through tests and assessments that go beyond the accepted standard to work out how well these products work for you and what's not worth your money. And a Which membership not only gets you access to our reviews, it also funds our non-profit campaigning work, like getting scam ads banned on social media and ending broadband and mobile mid-contract price hikes. And right now, podcast listeners can become a Which member for 50% off the usual price by heading to which.co.uk/podcast offer.
Hello and welcome to Which Shorts. I'm James Rowe. If this is your first time tuning in, then welcome along. Every Wednesday we delve inside one of the Which magazines, so that's either Which Gardening, Which Tech, Which Travel, or the original Which mag. We then choose a piece that was written by one of our brilliant journalists and we bring it to life, giving you loads of free everyday advice. This week we're asking the question, what happens when an EV or electric vehicle goes wrong? In the March edition of Which magazine, Hannah Downs examined common EV faults, problems when it comes to repairs, and how much they might cost. Here's Hannah's piece, adapted for the podcast, this week read by Which Cars journalist Michael Passingham.
Electric vehicles come with a number of well-reported benefits. They're smooth to drive, create zero exhaust emissions, and have the potential for very low day-to-day running costs. As the 2025 Which Car Guide demonstrated, we're big fans, and there are EV best buys across a range of car classes. But what's less clear when opting for an EV is what happens when it becomes faulty or breaks down. Does your local garage have the expertise to deal with electric cars? Can they be towed? And how much will a repair cost? These are the questions that many drivers will be asking as the government continues its plan to boost EV uptake by phasing out new petrol and diesel cars by 2030. So, what are the most common faults? Well, it turns out battery and charging issues are rarer than you might think. In a recent Which survey of more than 4,700 EV owners between April and June 2024, just 2% of faults reported on new EVs were with the main battery, and charging issues were around the same. Battery performance may be another worry as batteries degrade over time, meaning they can't store as much charge, but the vast majority, 96% of EV owners with a 2017 or 2018 model in our survey, told us their battery was still providing more than 80% of its original range. In fact, the most frequent fault on new EVs, according to our survey, relates to onboard computer software, while older EVs suffer more frequently with suspension problems, but faults will vary depending on the brand of car you have. So let's say your EV does develop a fault. Can your local garage fix it? Well, as we're still in the transition phase with EVs, not all garages and repair shops have the specialist skills to facilitate repairs. According to the Institute of the Motor Industry, the IMI, only 22% of all UK car technicians are trained to work with electric vehicles. Dan Harrowell, a principal engineer at Thatcham Research, told us today most vehicle manufacturers have upgraded their facilities and tooling to accommodate EV repairs, with many independent workshops also making significant strides. He said governments must prioritise apprenticeships and training initiatives in the sector to mitigate the anticipated skills gap. Supply issues for parts can sometimes complicate repairs too, particularly with new EV models. How do EV repair costs compare with petrol and diesel repairs? Well, the IMI told us that EV repairs can sometimes seem more expensive, but this reflects the vehicle's different and advanced technologies. Battery replacements are pricey, but it's rare you'll need this type of repair. The IMI said most EV batteries are designed to last the vehicle's lifetime, and as the industry develops, there's a growing emphasis on repair and refurbishment rather than replacement. If you need a full replacement, it's worth noting that batteries on new EVs often come with lengthy warranties. Manufacturers typically offer a 7 or 8 year warranty for their EV batteries, or around 100,000 miles, whichever comes sooner. This means an expensive battery replacement will cost you nothing as long as you're inside the warranty period. Inflation has also contributed to an overall rise in parts cost, but Dan Harrowell of Thatcham says prices are beginning to decline. The design of EVs, which have fewer moving parts than petrol or diesel cars, means you'll likely also notice less wear and tear over time. Overall, repair costs for EVs are likely to reduce as adoption rises. So, repairs are one thing you'll likely have to deal with as a car owner, but breakdowns are another. and the process does look a bit different for electric vehicles. EVs are heavy, and you can't tow them as you would a petrol or diesel car, as it can damage the vehicle's motor and other components. But lots of progress has been made within the car industry to find other ways of dealing with stranded EVs. All the major breakdown providers like the AA, Green Flag and the RAC now offer cover for EVs, using specialist equipment to tow electric cars off the road or find other ways to recover them. On the RAC's website, for example, it lists various solutions to recover a broken down EV, such as its EV Boost service, which can get a stranded, out-of-charge EV going again, and its all-wheels-up rapid recovery system enables them to tow broken down EVs safely. What's crucial at this stage though is that your EV is sent to a repair shop equipped to handle high voltage systems. If your car's sent to a garage that can't repair the problem, you could be waiting longer for your vehicle to be rerouted and repaired. So, if you do take the plunge and buy a new EV, but it turns out to be faulty, what are your rights? Here are 5 key pieces of advice to help you out. 1. Under consumer law, you can reject any faulty vehicle for a refund within 30 days of ownership. After 30 days, but within 6 months, you're entitled to a repair or replacement, and after that, you'll have to prove there's a problem with the vehicle that's beyond normal wear and tear. 2. Repairs must be made within a reasonable time, or you can reject your vehicle and get a refund. The law is unhelpfully vague at defining reasonable in this context. External factors affecting repairs, such as skills shortages, might impact what would be considered to be reasonable in court. 3. When making your claim to reject a car, consider whether you've been significantly inconvenienced while waiting for it to be fixed. If, for example, you weren't offered a like-for-like courtesy car while waiting for yours to be repaired, this could strengthen your claim for rejection. 4. The dealership doesn't have unlimited time to fix your vehicle, even if there are external elements causing repair delays. If you feel you've waited beyond how long is reasonable, you can use our free complaints tool to formally reject your vehicle. Go to which.co.uk/car complaint. And 5. Your rights are against whoever you bought the vehicle through, a dealership or finance provider. If your claim is rejected, you may be able to complain to the Motor Ombudsman or Financial Ombudsman. If that doesn't work, consider court action after seeking professional legal advice.
Thanks for listening to this podcast from Which, the UK's consumer champion. You can find plenty more advice about what we discussed today in the show notes. There you'll also find a link to become a Which member for 50% off the usual price, an offer exclusively available to you, our podcast listeners. Joining Which will not only give you access to all of our product reviews, our app, one-to-one personalised buying advice and every issue of Which magazine across the air, but you'll also be helping us to make life simpler, fairer and safer for everyone. Don't forget to hit subscribe wherever you're listening, that way you'll be notified whenever we release a new episode of Which Money, Which Shorts or another podcast that we make for you. And if you want to get in touch with us, then follow us on social media, we're @Which.UK, or you can drop us an email to podcasts@which.co.uk. See you next time.
Leaking roof? Car won't start? Needs to renovate? Here's what to look for when getting a trader to help. A recognised endorsement, where expert assessors set the bar high. Genuine customer reviews, so you don't get duped by cowboy fakers. A clear code of conduct to give you an extra layer of security. A robust complaints policy, so you can resolve disputes fairly. And the Which Trusted Trader badge that says, choose me with confidence. You can trust Which to help you find the right traders for the job. We run thorough checks on traders, put them through in-depth assessments, then we give them the actions to make improvements and only endorse them when they've actioned them and made the grade. So, to choose with confidence, head to which.co.uk/traders or search for Which Trusted Traders.